Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What is organization? Behaviors that we have discussed in a previous class. Organization, it is a group of people who are collected to work for a common goal with collective effort. Behavior, it is a verbal or physical response shown by a person as a consequence of the impact of his or her surrounding. So organization behavior is as a systematic study of the action and attitude that people exhibit within the organization. Although organization behavior is extremely complex and include many inputs and dimensions, three framework or theoretical framework of organization behavior: the cognitive, behavioristic, social cognitive framework can be used to develop an overall model for organization behavior. Conceptual and theoretical framework: organization behavior follow the principle of human behavior. Organization behavior is a situational. Organization behavior is used based on system approach. Organization behavior represent a constant interaction between structure and process. Variable, which is cognitive framework, behavioristic framework, social cognitive framework. Cognitive framework. Let me explain a little bit more about cognitive framework. The cognitive approach to a human behavior has many sources of input. The five senses. Cognition, which is the basic unit of cognitive framework, can be defined as the act of knowing an item from information. Under this framework, cognition precedes behavior and constitute input into a person thinking, perception, problem solving, and information processing. Cognition is act of knowing information. Cognition is based on input means information, output means behavior. Cognition is based on input, information, output, behavior. Cognition process consists of thinking, perception, problem solving, information process, personality, attitudes, motivation. Or in a slide, cognitive framework, cognitive approach emphasizes the positive and free will aspect of the human behaviors. All those aspects which are positive and related to the human behaviors and use the concepts such as expectancy, demand, and intentions. Cognition can be simply defined as the act of knowing item of information in a cognitive. From cognition proceed behaviors and constitute input in the person thinking, perception, problem solving, information processing. In the subject of organization behavior, cognitive dominate the unit of analysis such as I have told: perception, personality, attitudes, motivation, problem solving, information process, thinking, perception. Behavioral decision making on goal setting. The second is behavioristic framework. Very simple, I'm telling you. Behavioristic framework: environmental forces determine a person's behavior. Behavioristic framework study learning by focusing on observable events, both environmental and behavior. This framework, developed by Ivan Pilavev and G.B. Woodson. Organization behavior can be explained with the help of stimulus and response. Behavioristic framework consists of classical condition and operant condition, which will be as an assignment for you peoples, and you should find it and send it me back. Classical condition and operant condition. Social cognitive framework. Social learning theory take the position that the behavior can be best explained in the term of continuous reciprocal interaction among cognitive, behavioral, and environmental determined. The person in the environmental situation do not function as an independent unit, but in conjunction with the behavior itself, reciprocally interact to determine behavior. It means that cognitive variable and environmental variable are relevant, but experience generated by the previous behavior is also partly determined what a person become and can do. So social learning cognitive framework explain human behavior in the term of continuous reciprocal interaction among cognitive behavior in environmental influence are very simple. Social cognitive framework, a person behavior is determined by interactions between internal and environmental factors. There are four major model or framework that organization operate out. Let me explain autocratic, custodial, supportive, collegial, then we will shift to next slide. Autocratic means on the base of this model is power. In managerial orientation is authority. Means if boss say milk is black, so the employee will say milk is black. Otherwise, employee will be terminated because the manager or the boss will terminate the employee that they are not obey my rules, regulations, and policy. They are not obedience. So autocratic on the base of this model is power with managerial orientation of authority. So here the performance of the employee is passive, not active. Employee are waiting for the boss. What the boss say, so the employee will accept. So there is no entrepreneur thinking in autocratic style. There is no initiation of something new. So all the employee is watching directly the boss. What the boss say, the employee will implement. The second is custodial. Second, custodial on the base of this model is economic resource with decision making of money. In this model, employee want more money and security. If employee want more money and security, remember the performance of the employee will be passive corporation, not inactive. In custodial style, employee demand more salary and more security. So once the employee demand more salary and more security, so the performance of the employee is passive, not active. Supportive, and the base of this model is leadership with managerial orientation of support. Here the performance of employee are more in participants. The employee need that is met is status and recognition. The performance result is a weekend drive. So here on the base of this model is leadership with managerial orientation of support. In supportive style, if I'm say that in BBA third class, if any student want to become the topper of a class, so here the performance of each student become high because every individual want to become a topper of BBA third class. Now student A, B, C, D and F, each and every one try their level best to become a first position holder. So here if in a supportive style the performance of employee is active, not passive. So employee want to reach high position in organization. So this is the participative style as well. This is in nature supportive. The last style is a collegial style. On the base of this model is partnership with managerial orientation of teamwork. So this is the best style, collegial. Teamwork is better than individual. So collegial style is better than autocratic style. So the basic of this model is partnership with managerial orientation of teamwork. Means all the employees are working together as a team. So here the performance of employee are active, not passive. The employee turn are oriented toward responsible behavior and self-discipline. The performance result is moderate, not passive. Enthusiasm. Although there are 4 separate models, almost no organization operate exclusively in one. There will usually be a predetermined one with one or more area overlapping in the other model. So collegial style or collegial model is based on partnership with managerial orientation of teamwork. So performance of a teamwork is passive. No, the performance of a team is active, not a passive. And this is a moderate enthusiasm, self-actualization, and so on. So this was the basic introduction of these 4 major models. Now one by one we will discuss what is autocratic style, what is custodial, what is supportive, and what is collegial. 4 major model or framework that organization operate out. Maybe some organization operate autocratic and collegial. Some operate custodial and supportive. Some operate custodial and autocratic. So it is depend on the nature of organization in a situation. So this was the different major model or framework of organizations which operate. See in a slide autocratic style, I have told that the base of this model is power with managerial orientation of authority. So in autocratic style, this model is talk about the power, means all decision is taken by boss. Employee are passive, not active. Employee are observing employee or watching the boss, what the boss say. If the boss say milk is black, so the employee will say milk is black. If employee say milk is white, so boss will terminate the employee because they are not obedience the rules of their boss. So the employee turn are oriented toward obedience and dependency on the boss. The employee need that meet is the employee meet is, or the performance of employee is passive, not active, or the performance result is minimal. The second style is custodial. I have told on the base of this model, on the basis of this model is economic resource with decision making orientation of money. So when we talk about the economic resource, so automatically our thinking and our logic is depend on the money. So in custodial style, employee turn oriented towards security and benefits. When employee demand more security and more benefits, remember they are depend on the organization. So the performance of the employee is also passive, not active, because an employee who working in such an area that need a security, they cannot work properly. So the performance of such kind of employee is also passive, not active, and the dependency of the employee is on organization. Third, supportive. I have told on the base of this model is a leadership. Every individual want to reach high position and they will support themselves. I've given the example. So the performance of employee in a supportive style is active, awake and drive. They are not passive. And the last is a collegial. On the base of this model is a partnership. Means all the employee in the organization, they are participatively work in organizations as a teamwork. And the team are oriented toward responsible behavior and self-disciplines. The employee need that meet is self-actualization. The performance result is moderate enthusiasm, although there are four separate models almost in organizations operate exclusively in one. There will be usually predetermined one with one or more area overlapping in other models. So collegial style is better as compared to autocratic. Then in management we have different style: autocratic, democratic, and participative. So we are not talk about from the management perspective that we have autocratic style, we have democratic style, and we have participative style. If we have time, so I will explain these three also with these four. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask me directly through my personal WhatsApp or in a group.